Names were read.
Hey, Joe.
Okay, we will open this meeting of May 22nd, 2014. Let the record show that Selectman LaPlante and Selectman Dawson are not present tonight. First on our agenda is Eliza Condi for the Winnipesaukee Trail Crosswalk Light. So come on up, Eliza.
Sure how much Joyce has filled you in with the...
You want to come up, Joyce? Or?
I can't hear her at all.
Yeah, if she could put that microphone.
Yep, turn it around so you can hear it, yep.
The Northfield has submitted the, it's an amendment or whatever for the crosswalk and light or whatever, and the state is holding it up because they need a statement of who's responsible for the light. And because it's in Tilton, it would be Tilton, and you had checked with insurance for liability if somebody runs into the pole that doesn't have, vehicle insurance.
Our insurance would cover it.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, we could do it two ways. See, right now, all of our outdoor lighting is listed on our schedule called Other Property, but we could list it separately, because when I did hear back from Glenn on what the replacement cost is, he said right now they're just using $100,000 as a placeholder amount until the design is finished and they can get a more exact figure. So we could just list it on there like we do the fishing piers.
Okay.
There's no impact to our insurance premium, because our insurance premium is based on our wages.
Okay.
And that's the number that comes directly off our 941 file. As far as maintenance, say, so by being on our policy, it's insured. So say somebody cracks into it, we have a $1,000 deductible, and they would always go after the person, but if they didn't have any insurance, our insurance would pay it. And then the other question I'd have, what about maintenance? Say the light isn't working, or a bulb. I mean, I don't know how these things work. And what my understanding is that the WRTA, if there did need to be maintenance, they would...
It would technically be Tilton's responsibility, but ours, but the trail committee would be responsible.
And this is
for it.
going to go over here, right?
over here.
Over here?
Right across from Ken Norton's house.
Off of Salmon Falls.
Okay.
It'll be where it loops back around the line, the trail with it.
Oh, I thought you needed one downtown.
No. The crosswalk's already there, and they won't put another light in.
Oh, got
They
it.
just needed signs to say, trail people cross here. On this one.
Right.
So in order for them to proceed, they need something on town letterhead signed by the selectmen saying that we acknowledge that the town of Tilton will put the structure on.
Well, that it's, and that it accepts responsibility for the light.
And accepts responsibility.
Right.
And then
I'm
we'll have to
assuming
add
it's-
this to our side agreement that we have with WRTA.
Yes.
We have a separate side agreement, so we can amend that agreement. We would be willing to do that, to specifically add this.
Yep.
Because that's really the most, there's nothing else we have that's a moving
Right.
part. So if you do, which I hope you will agree to do this in your motion, if you could add that the town would accept responsibility for it, and that we will also amend our side agreement. The DOT doesn't need to know that, so we'll do
Right.
two motions.
Right.
To accept the responsibility, and we'll call it the crosswalk light. Is that what we'll call
I
it?
guess.
So this actually only gets used when people are actually going to walk across, or if there's a
Push the
bike,
button.
or where they push the button and it stops the traffic. So it's not a standard
No.
timer.
No.
Question. Why is Northfield applying for a crosswalk light in Tilton?
They manage the funds.
There's
It's
a-
for the trail. It's
there's a
for
They
the,
manage the funds for it.
Manager,
Right.
and this is all part of that project.
Okay, that explains it.
Yeah. The project, this part of the project encompasses from where the trail ends at Dick Mayor's right now, continuing on down to the Ernie's piece, onto Ernie's, and then crossover on the new piece that Conservation Commission just purchased, and then it would have gone over the pedestrian bridge, but that's being delayed for a few years. We couldn't just have the trail end nowhere, so they said, okay, you can now have a crosswalk, which we had asked for one before down with Dick Mares, and they said no, but now they say yes.
Yay?
So two motions, one to accept responsibility for the crosswalk signal, and I'll put in the name of the grant, phase 2.
Yeah, 2 or
There's an
2A.
actual, on the plans, there's an actual number, project number. And then, once
Here?
that's-
Oh, me, where's my chair?
You see, we're all messed up. We thought you weren't coming.
I wasn't.
Well, here, you come sit here. I don't like this chair anyway.
All right,
I feel uncomfortable as I'm sitting here.
so let the record show that Selectman Dawson is present. We lied, no. So we're talking about the crosswalk light right now. They need a motion to accept that the Board of Selectmen will accept responsibility for, the town of Tilton will accept responsibility for the maintenance, is it, of the light? Just the
Yes,
maintenance?
it's ownership and maintenance.
Oh, maintenance, ownership and maintenance of the light.
Really?
There's another motion.
It's a crosswalk signal, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
Crosswalk signal.
I'll second the motion, and under discussion,
What was the motion?
To accept ownership of a crosswalk signal, ownership and maintenance of the crosswalk signal, going from,
Why do we want to own this?
because the state's telling us we need to. And we do
Town of
everything
Tilton
that the
isn't putting
state
it in.
doesn't.
Well, town of Tilton isn't
It's
paying
in,
for it.
it's in the town.
But the town of Tilton isn't putting it in. The town of Tilton isn't doing anything that generates its need. It's the trail.
It's physically in the town of Tilton, and the trail can't own it.
Right, the trail can't own it. It has to come to the town.
Doesn't have to.
It does, according to the state.
If it's going to be put up, maybe, but why would the town, I mean,
Well, we're ultimately responsible, we meaning the town of Tilton is ultimately responsible for the trail that's in the state's right-of-way. It's just,
there's an agreement that says, no, we're not. Anytime the Winnipesaukee Trail Association doesn't meet that agreement, we'll close that trail.
that is
That
correct.
trail isn't going to cost us a thin dime.
That's correct.
that's the second motion.
That's the second one.
There's two motions to be made. The trail people are going to agree to be responsible for the maintenance of it.
And we're going to amend our existing agreement with them,
To do that.
but DOT doesn't need to know that.
Who's paying for the electricity?
We could even sell the trail people that.
If you get do you get a separate bill? I don't know, I don't know how that's done.
It's broken out by streetlights and things like that. It's all broken out on which one gets what, how much, and
We can ask them to generate a separate bill for it.
That will be on our insurance, but there'll be no extra charge to our insurance for it.
If somebody would have hit it that didn't have insurance or whatever, then our insurance would cover it.
So, we signed this agreement with the Trail Association, but we're still, in the eyes of the state of New Hampshire, New Hampshire DOT, ultimately responsible. Right. The Trail Association disbands. Now we're responsible.
we're responsible, correct.
And there's two things that can happen. Their bylaws say it goes to another conservation,
I don't know that. I don't know.
and if not, then Tilton, we just close the trail.
What do we do with the light? Pay to have it taken out?
No, I think, I don't know.
I think the what-ifs are outweighed by the safety factor of people crossing the street.
But the other thing is too, because you're going to have,
If somebody pushed the button.
I don't think
the other
we-
objective here that you're also going to achieve is that you're going to have that property over at Ernie's done, and eventually, aren't you going to have like a kayak or something place where
like
they can...
Riverfront Park where there's no crosswalk or light?
Now we have the opportunity to have a crosswalk across from a place where it's really unsafe, and now it can be.
The development of the town of that property, the town wouldn't put a trail in there. And as I understand it, that access, that trail is eventually going to disappear when the bridge goes in. So then what becomes of the light?
The light will be, when it crosses 140, when the trail crosses 140, we're told that we can transfer the light to there.
Well,
There's your answer on that one.
except the town's going to own the light, so what if the town says no? Because this Board of Selectmen may not be sitting here.
Could happen.
The town says, no, we're going to keep it there.
We'll put it across from your house.
Well,
Yeah, that would be a good place.
no, thank you.
Across, you get across.
No, I can get across just fine, it doesn't cost me anything.
But the
You gotta
Goat
see a
Scout,
fly across that road sometime.
And that's the thing, is that for this not to cost the town of Tilton taxpayers any burden whatsoever. And I don't see that this is going to accomplish that, no matter what agreement we sign. Why is New Hampshire DOT requiring somebody other than New Hampshire DOT owning that light? It crosses their highway. I understand that we're generating a crossing there, but quite frankly, people could choose to walk up and cross anywhere they want and not use that light.
Right, but it wouldn't be safe, especially if you've got people at Ernie's and at Salmon, is it Salmon Run or Salmon Mill?
Salmon Run.
Salmon Run decides, this is lovely, I want to go downtown and eat lunch now. They've got
They
to
have a
cross the
crosswalk
street
to do it.
To go into downtown to eat lunch.
I think it's going to be an asset to Salmon Run in that area where it's
Except-
going to be.
Eventually, you have to remember that the parking lot, the access for the town, for those properties, is way up in the eastern end. It's not there. The trail that if, let's say Winnipesaukee Trail Association wasn't going to come through there, for some reason they're going to stay on the other side of the river. The town of Tilton isn't developing any trail that's going to access Route 3 along that point. They'd have to walk through the greenery. The only access they're going to have is the entrance to the parking lot. So without the Trail Association developing a trail through there, and it's a temporary ingress and egress, that light wouldn't be necessary.
That's right. If the bridge were going in, there would not be a light. You're
Right.
correct. But the state is requiring that the trail go somewhere. They can't allow it to just stop.
I don't understand why the
Well,
state is
that-
doing this,
that-
why they're not more cooperative with us, with developing this.
We can't move forward, we can't move forward without
light.
without the light, and without some assurance that somebody's responsible for the light.
Can we at least come up with agreement before, or do you need a decision on the light ASAP because of time constraints? Can we amend the motion to be contingent on the agreement?
I thought you were going to do that in the second motion.
Second motion, which is just to.
Yeah, but there isn't an agreement created yet.
Well, we do have an agreement with the WRTA for maintenance of the trail.
I know this.
So we were going to amend, a motion to amend that agreement to specifically add this crosswalk.
Trail and the crosswalk
Right.
light.
To add language that's going to cover these issues.
Yes.
So it hasn't been created yet. You have to take the old one, add the language, then you've got an agreement.
Right, we're not creating a whole new agreement. We have. an-
So the first one, I think Catherine's right on that one, though. So the first motion, because you can take that motion separate from, and it doesn't tie it into the second motion at all. So the first motion should be contingent on a signed agreement that, that delegates authority and maintenance to the WRTA on the light in the agreement between the town of Tilton and WRTA. Then in the second motion, then it would tie both of them together, both motions together. If we don't do that, you're going to have one motion, and you could just run with that one motion. Then you have another motion, and that motion can go into a different direction
Right.
without tying each other
Including
together.
limbo.
Okay, but I don't think, I know that with our agreement that we have with DOT for the trail, they don't care that we have an agreement
Right.
with that. So to them,
Right.
they don't need that information.
I
No, but
got
the
you.
town of Tilton does.
Right, so I got
We
you.
represent the town of Tilton.
So right now, you have a burden with the town, with the DOT, and
The
Right.
trails.
the Trails does,
The
right?
motion can say that it'll be contingent upon the agreement, and then...
Right, contingent upon changing the agreement. So right now, we have, the burden's being placed on us to say yay or nay on that, but we kind of don't want to say yay or nay until we have the board say, yeah, we'll accept changing the agreement and doing that. So what we can do is make the motion, amend the motion to accept ownership and responsibility to the crosswalk signal on Route 3 for the Winnipesaukee River Trail Association, contingent upon a favorable signed agreement for maintenance and responsibility
With WRTA.
with WRTA.
Okay, then I'll second that. Is that a whole new motion, or?
That's the amendment to it, to the original one where I just left it maintenance, ownership and responsibility. So a motion's been made and seconded. Now we open it for discussion, an amendment to the motion. Is there any more discussion on that?
No, so
So my question is, how can you get that back to, can you get that information back to WRTA and say, can we get with them next week and just write this up? I mean, you've got your piece to go to DOT, but we need the piece to sign this with DOT. I mean, with WRTA.
I haven't actually seen the agreement. Is that something that you can do an amendment?
I can go pull the whole file right now, they're all there.
And
You may want to check with Glenn, because he's the municipal manager. I don't know if that motion will work, I guess. I wouldn't send anything to DOT until you check with Glenn to make sure that this would satisfy. I mean, we
it
can go forward.
would satisfy him if the agreement was signed, wouldn't it?
DOT, you mean?
No, with
No, no.
With
WRTA.
Glenn? If you made the necessary changes to the agreement to satisfy the selectmen, and it was signed by WRTA and the Board of Selectmen, then it would,
I would think it would be.
we would have no problem,
And then
well,
do-
it's
I would
not been
assume that
voted
that would
on
work, but I'm
yet.
not.
Okay, I think what we should do is work on this first motion, amend the agreement, have WRTA sign it, have the board sign it, and then once you do that, then have the selectmen on town letterhead send a letter to Glenn and Tom Jameson. That's the other thing, who does it go to, Tom Jameson, or does it go to?
I believe it goes to Tom Jameson.
Tom Jameson, saying that the board has accepted responsibility for the thing, for the crosswalk.
Let's not jump ahead, because we have to figure out if the board accepts that or not. Because we have to vote on the
Okay,
motion.
well, what I was understanding is that you wanted to do this first before you do the accepting responsibility, sending it to DOT. Have this in
We have to
place
vote
first.
on the motion for the amendment first, and then contingent upon the motion says contingent upon the signed. So then you'll take it back and make the arrangements to get it signed.
All right, so when we have a signed agreement, let me make sure I understand.
Right, then you'll,
Bring it to you, then you would be happy to sign
a
a letter
letterhead.
that can go to Tom
That's right,
Jameson.
the
All right,
DOT,
that's-
correct.
That's
Trying
good.
to say.
Yeah.
As long as I understand what.
That's what I was trying to say.
What I'm saying as chairman, that all sounds good, but we have to vote on it, because I don't know how these people feel about it.
Okay,
Yeah,
assuming that there's a positive vote,
Yeah,
and I have no idea how quickly we got a holiday coming up, I'm not sure how quickly we can do this, but let's just say I had the letter for you tomorrow. Are you able to sign the letter without having another meeting, or do we wait? I'm just concerned
we'll
about
need
timing.
another meeting
Yeah,
to
need
go over
another
the
meeting.
agreement.
Okay,
We can sign the letter on Thursday.
Okay.
Early on Thursday, the first thing, and you can take it off, or,
Well, it isn't going to matter because DOT will be closed by the time we meet on Thursday.
URTA.
Well, they can get it on
That's what
Friday.
I'll try to, yeah.
That's right.
Assuming that,
But we'll have to,
Anyone vote.
the agreement we'll have to read, and I'm sure it's not, we're going to make some changes to it.
Do you want to make changes to the whole agreement?
We
No.
haven't even seen it, but the amendment that we add to it, I'm sure there's going to be some changes to the amendment.
what you write, she wants to see, just to make sure that it's adequate for our needs. And then the possibility, given our history, there will be changes, is what Catherine is saying.
Well, I think if that's the case, then we should give that to them.
well, WRTA needs to know what they're going to sign.
I missed you.
WRTA to meet with them, if they want to.
Thursday.
Thursday.
All right,
Why don't we have them come?
yeah, that's a good idea.
But in the meantime, I can go pull the agreements out.
See if they'll come. What do we have?
On the 29th.
4:30? I think we have an appointment at 4:30.
Oh, we have a non-public for Denny Goodwin,
At 4:30, right?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, so we also have a 4:30. Yeah. Personnel, non-pub, so either 5:30 or 6 would be the time. 5:45 or 6 would be the time.
When are we going to see the agreement?
We'll have them meet with us, so if there's any changes, they can agree on the changes
I'll
right then
send
and there.
everything to them.
No, but I mean, the selectmen need to see this agreement, to read it, to add to
Okay,
subtract to whatever,
Send that to
so
them.
that,
As soon as,
Or the original agreement,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, before we send it off to them to read to agree,
Well, resend them. There's 3.
No, I think Catherine is saying about the crosswalk, the addition to the crosswalk, if you're going to add something to the
we
agreement,
have to add something.
right, we want to see that before you send it off to WRTA to agree on that, and then if they agree on it, then we're all set.
Okay. So what language does WRTA
I-
mean? I can go ahead and use this language, even though they haven't adopted it yet?
it's a good place to start.
What language of the motion?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
maintenance and responsibility will be.
Repair, electric, basically no cost.
Right.
No cost to repair, no cost for
What
electric,
we
no
talked
cost
about,
for
the
liability.
lights, the bulbs,
No
the
cost for
electricity.
removal. Option to discontinue the light at the town's discretion. What happens if WRTA disbands? What happens to that agreement? Should there be money set aside by WRTA for
They've set aside 10 grand.
the removal of this light, if we so choose?
No,
For-
for trail maintenance, but so.
I'm not talking about trail maintenance, I'm specifically talking this light. We're using that agreement for the trail maintenance as a boilerplate to write a similar agreement for this light, but I see it as two different things.
All right, so you want it as 2 entirely separate agreements?
No,
You don't want to
sure.
Keep it within the amend the current agreement.
Do you want to make an addendum to the current agreement, or do you want?
What, I don't care how you write it, but there's going to be a separate agreement. If you want it to continue with that one, and there's a separate paragraph
Under lighting?
that deals just with that light, that's fine. If you want to take that and use that for language to write a separate agreement, doesn't matter to me, as long as,
Well, I would prefer to just keep it in the existing agreement, because the town has an agreement with DOT, the town has an agreement with the Winnipesaukee River Basin Project, and the town has an agreement with the Winnipesaukee Trails Association.
Right. And the railroad?
The railroad is DOT.
Okay.
but if I
Yeah, that's
remember,
an
New
addendum
Hampshire
to that.
DOT had to agree to that
Yeah.
agreement. To that
Agreement.
agreement. They had input on it. We had quite a few sessions.
Oh, yeah. Well, the big one was with the Winnipesaukee River Basin Project.
Right.
Because they
Right.
came in after
That's
the
right.
fact and said,
So
So they
that's
were
what I'm
gonna hold it up
saying.
for everybody.
This should be simpler,
oh, yeah,
because like you said, DOT doesn't care.
right,
They want the town to own it.
right.
But the town needs to own it without,
Yeah, that was
Any
my
cost
first
to its
question, is
taxpayers.
My first question was, who will own the signal? DOT or the town? And the answer came back, the town would own the signal.
so there's nothing in that original, there's really not a lot in that original agreement that's going to pertain to this light, except for the agreement we have with WRTA on how the trail maintenance
Right.
is done and who pays for it. The rest of it isn't going to pertain to this light.
That is correct. I'm just saying it could all be in one document. I mean, whatever you want, Catherine.
I think it should be separate. I think the other document's way too complicated.
Okay.
I don't want to get into
So
the
you-
other
you kinda
entities
get what-
involved.
what-
It's just going
what
to
we
take more
need.
time. Just write a simple agreement.
Joyce knows what we
Not
need.
if there's more money involved, because we don't have any more money, so.
They, you kind of get what Catherine is saying. Okay. Is there any more discussion on that?
No?
Motions?
Catherine, are you certain as to what we're voting on?
Okay, can you tell me?
I have it recorded, and I'm leaving the tape for Joyce for tomorrow, because I won't be.
We are voting on a motion that says that to accept the we're voting on the amendment to the motion, to accept the ownership and responsibility of the crosswalk signal on Route 3, across from Ken Norton's house, contingent upon a favorable signing of the Winnipesaukee, with the Winnipesaukee River Trail Association
For maintenance.
for maintenance. That's what we're
So we're voting on the amendment.
Well,
voting on.
more than just maintenance. The electrical?
That will all be itemized.
Under responsibility and maintenance.
Well, that's what I mean. There's a lot more than maintenance. Liability. And again, what happens if WRTA disbands? Where's the agreement? So there's a lot more to it than just maintenance.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Cautiously.
Oh. Unanimous. Okay.
So now we vote on the motion.
All those in favor of the original motion? No.
The amended motion.
No, we voted on the amendment to the motion.
Right, we voted on the
Specifically
amendment.
asked.
That's right. So now it's an amended
on the whole
motion, is it
Right,
not?
right. So now that amended motion becomes the original motion, so all those in favor of the original motion?
Aye.
Aye. Right?
It's not the original motion.
If you vote on the original, if you vote on the amended
Aye.
motion, it now becomes the motion.
Just make sure that last motion includes the amended portion.
Please.
Okay, so the
be
Trail
okay,
Association
Eliza.
will need the agreement
Yes.
in order to
Yeah,
know
we'll
what
be.
they're agreeing to.
What's the next thing on the, I could just run down and hold the file on the.
Approval of minutes. You can run down and do that. We could take the chief before you anyway, if you want.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eliza.
Bye, Eliza.
I have my keys right here.
I don't understand what the state of New Hampshire causes these problems.
Well, I think part of it is because they're not dealing with the selectmen. If the selectmen were with them,
No, even, it's, they got to put they had to put a fence along the state railroad.
but do you think
That was
that would
ridiculous.
have... Do you think that would have happened if the board was there?
Yep,
You think
I
so?
do, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I think it is. This whole thing with the trail, it's great for the entire state, because these trails are supposed
But
to
are they
connect.
consistent across the state? They are being consistent.
Oh, yeah,
We know that. All right, let's make a motion to bring the minutes of May 15th to the board for approval and
Second.
correction and approval. A motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. As a side to this, I've been supervising the 16 Prospect Street. They've already got one bin. It's being picked up tomorrow.
Are the bin patrol going to be policing the bin?
One's being taken away tomorrow, and it's very well packed.
I'll bet it is.
They're doing a good job.
Oh, good.
One room is completely boom cleaned.
Wow.
In the first paragraph, it says all in favor, exception of Selectman Jessman was absent. Were you here, Joe? I
Last
think it
week,
was-
sure.
And it was I that wasn't here, right?
On May 8th.
Yeah, that was May.
This is May 8th minutes.
That's what I'm looking at, right?
These are May 15th minutes.
Oh, wait.
We approved the May 8th minutes.
All were in favor, with the exception of Selectman Jessman, who is not present
That's right, for the May 8th minutes.
for the May 8th minutes.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I see that.
Mine is to ask Joyce if she wrote the letter before she leaves for the
For
Old Home
Teresa?
Day, or for Old Home Day Committee, Citizen of the Year. Any more corrections, additions, or omissions?
Page 5, in the middle paragraph about the lights on the flagpole, it says the lights on never mind. Riverfront Park, RFP, I'm thinking to myself, what's RFP? It's Riverfront Park.
Does it refer to the Riverfront Park before the,
Yes,
oh, okay.
yeah.
I don't have a copy of them, so.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of May 15th as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any more discussion?
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chief, you want to do your report while Joyce is...
Absolutely.
How you doing?
Okay, I'll just run down kind of a snapshot of where we are this week.
Put that mic over there to you. Okay.
Our calls for service so far to date, internally, our system's at 3,975 calls dispatched internally, and then Belknap dispatched us 2,051 calls. So we're about 6,026 calls to date by 4 p.m.
Is that average?
Which is about average, yeah. Just a side note on that, in the first quarter, what we've seen is a decrease in crimes against persons by 22%, but an increase in property crime by 20%, which, talking to the other chiefs, that's pretty average around the state and around the country. Training this week, I have Chris in training this week. It's his annual special operations training where he does 1 week condensed. And the court is closed this week, so he doesn't have court. The judge didn't need him this week, I'd say. Coming up in June, I have Brian going to 2-week DEA school to get his certification, and then Noel and Jeremiah are attending 1-week RAD instructor school, which is rape aggression defense training. And then on June...
Where is that held?
That's going to be here at Tilton School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then on June 5th and 11th, we have some training that's available to anyone at the department. June 5th is a critical incident debriefing on the Discovery Channel hostage situation. That's available to anyone statewide at no cost. And then on June 11th is the New Hampshire Emergency Management Conference, and that's at the Radisson on that day. And I'll be doing a class there on active shooter situations at malls and schools for emergency management. And so it gets folks from schools, police departments, and fire departments from around the state. Fleet needs this week, 10A AC needs to be charged, and we're in the process of switching out snow tires to regular tires on the white unmarked and blue unmarked, the 4A and the 6D. We have one camera down on the 3A. We've called the company, and they're shipping a new one out right away. Tim made that call yesterday. We should have it any day, because all those are under warranty.
So that camera will be at no cost?
No cost, yeah.
Are we sending the broken one to them?
Once we get the new one in, yeah. Building, I finally have 3 quotes back on the floors. Home Beautiful, Lowe's, and Home Depot. They're all about the same. Home Beautiful was, and this is to take out all the carpet in the patrol room, which is all torn up. It's badly in need of replacement. And then also replace the original carpet to VCT in Lisa's area in that hallway. That goes back to when the building was built. So to replace it all with VCT, the average quotes were between $2,200 and $2,500. One quote came in high, and that was Home Depot. And I asked them why, and the installer that quoted for Home Depot putting Luan flooring in. He was the only quote that did that.
Subfloor.
Subfloor, but it actually brought their quote up to like $3,900. So these are the quotes and the breakdowns.
And the other people like Home Beautiful didn't think that it...
Yeah, and I asked...
Most of the time in that room is spent sitting, right? Not standing.
Not standing, yeah, no. Well,
VCT, it's vital.
it's a high-traffic area, too, between Lisa's desk
Yeah,
and
it's a real
the
high traffic.
real high-traffic area. That's another reason we wanted to get the carpet out of
Because you
there.
go in and downstairs, or you go in and go to the patrol room
Right.
where the computers are, the
But-
officers room.
Yeah, so like two of them quoted me to rip the carpet out and scrape all the glue up, where Home Depot, their quote was more, it added $1,200 to the quote, but it was putting in a Luan subfloor. And so the quotes are there. Home Beautiful did everything downstairs for us. They did dispatch, and they did the hallway that connects booking to the front lobby. They did a good job. I checked with Home Depot, and Carmen said their warranty on their VCT is 10 years.
And what's,
And Home Depot said they would back out the Luan flooring, which would take their quote down to 16. So
1,600?
$1,695, and I have that in there too.
But then, what is Home Beautiful's warranty?
That I don't have, and I apologize, I wish I did, because I was trying to decide which way, which would be the better way to go. If we backed out the Luan, would Home Depot stand behind their tiles? And so, a 10-year warranty, I think they do.
VCT, what does VCT stand for?
Yeah, so
What's VCT stand
It's
for?
vinyl
Vinyl.
ceramic tile, I believe.
Composite? or-
It's a vinyl composite tile.
Yes.
It's what we put in dispatch and downstairs.
Okay.
I know that Home Beautiful did the lion's share of the work there a couple of years ago, and we've had no lifting, no issues.
Yeah.
It really came out nice.
Now,
Did
after
that
that,
primarily in the front, the main hallway, in the retention area, behind the cage.
after that gets put in, we'll need to put high solids wax on that, so it doesn't
That's
start
part of
getting
our
damaged.
cleaning.
Part of the cleaning, and I remember they couldn't do it for a while.
Right.
It's,
They
they had to
a
wait,
while
they had to wait.
Yeah,
for glue to set up or something, so it doesn't wash out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they put just a couple layers of wax, so it
Right.
makes it
And then,
rugged.
and then part of the contract, in our cleaning contract, was they stripped it and then re-waxed it. Was it twice in the year, or was it once or twice, twice a year? They did that, was part of the cleaning contract.
I think it's good, too, because we talked, when LGC toured the PD a few years ago, they said the carpet holds a lot of dust mites and
Yes.
allergens and all that. And like, in the admin
People going
area,
in and
that's
out a lot.
20 years old, that carpet. So, and
Not
it's,
only that, if you bring in someone that's intoxicated, it's
we-
happened.
Oh, yeah.
It's bleeding, it's cut, or whatever,
Right.
it ends up in the rug.
Holds bodily fluids, and that's a
Yeah.
issue in itself, so really trying to go carpet-free as much as
Now,
possible.
do they put in some, where the doors, is that going to go all the way around to the door by the garage there?
That's already done,
Okay,
so
you
it
don't
would
need
just
any
be the,
runners put in, or?
no, they would do that, these
Winter
quotes
down.
include the cove, base cove. So,
That would be
Sounds
the
good.
2 rooms where in front of the dispatch is already done, right?
right,
So it'd be Lisa's going downstairs, that room going downstairs, and then to the right of that room where the computers are, that they have, where they charge their radios and things.
yeah,
Yeah, much better idea.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's my, once a year I try to chip off something on my home list, and that's,
Some of it's cut and pasted.
yeah.
Yeah, so-
This is my 14 home project, so
Right.
The rest of the flooring in there is the same VCT, right?
it is.
Polyvinyl chloride.
This is the last of the carpet, though, right?
With the exception of the offices,
Oh,
like
in the individual
like
offices?
my office, the captain's
That could be
office.
next year.
Well, we
yeah.
certainly can't call that building green.
No,
But that's going to be a major, once you do that, if you put it in the budget for next year for VCT we have 4 or 5 offices, right? That you do it. Do it at the same time that you paint and
yeah,
refurbish it, because then you get everything out and
right.
fresh.
Yeah, I mean, there's only there's 3 offices that still have original carpet, and those will be the first 3 to get changed out. I believe it's the captains, the patrol supervisors, and detectives.
When you did your budget, you originally just planned for those 2 rooms that you've got now, right?
Right. The offices don't get the heavy traffic, so they're not as bad, but, so next year I would look to do the captain's office, patrol supervisor, and detectives next year.
They don't have an option that's just as durable.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, I would like to make a motion to go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3, legal and personnel.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 And we're ready.
Make a motion, we seal the minutes of the non-pub as they pertain to personnel permanently, as they pertain to legal till the matters are resolved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye, yes.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Aye.
And if there's a gap in this 8, that's because apparently I kicked out the bug or something. I don't know. See ya.